think we're on. There we go. Okay, that's my little intro. Hey.
I like that. Yeah.
Cool. I'll show you that later. I'm working on something. But welcome, Mark, to the first episode of. It's up there on the right. I have to do a better job of bringing it out. Let me. I will give it a little background. Hang on. Color, gradient. Nope, still needs some color. All right. There we go. Wow, look at that. This thing's getting better and better. So anyway, this is this little software. Oh, my camera is shaking because it's up too high. Anyway, thanks for joining the first inaugural episode of Praise Jam. I might have to rename it, but how are you?
Doing great, Bob. Yeah, it's great to be the inaugural guest. That's a big honor.
Cool. Let's see. I'm going to turn you up a little. And anyway, so I thought we would just talk really quickly about what we're going to be trying to do at St. Mark's coming up, I guess, in December.
That's the goal. Yep.
So do you want to talk real quick about what's been going on the last couple months there, or just kind of because people might not know, so might as well let them know.
Sure. Yeah. So the group that we're working with under Catho-Lit has found a fortunate home at St. Mark's. They've been very gracious in giving us the praise jams.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I lost you for a second.
Yep.
Cool.
You good now?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. No, sure. So, I mean, we've been very gracious to have St. Mark as hosting us for our monthly praise jams, and we're looking to further expand the open these events up to the community through the setting of an adoration night. I've found in my own personal experience that one of the best ways of introducing praise and worship music into our Catholic faith is through holy hour of adoration, including with benediction. So we're looking forward to the opportunity in hopefully December, like Bob said, to bring that back to St. Mark's. It happened several years ago, and it kind of is what is trying to inspire me to bring this back. Many years ago, when I was in middle school, they held a similar event, or a couple of them. The music was done by the local group, the Restless, and it brought so much to the adoration night. It was a lot of folks were there from the youth ministry, and it was open up to the parish. And our goal is just to bring that kind of sense of community back. It's been many years, so it'd be nice to bring that back to folks.
Yeah, that's really cool. That actually, I mean, it was neat. I mean, we started the Catho-Lit thing, the praise jam nights, I guess, locally close to me here at Our Lady Lourdes, and then we went to St. James a couple times last winter, and we took a break over Easter, and then we went out to St. Mark's, and I remember, I mean, I knew Rocco and Val. I didn't really know Stephen as much, but I knew Rocco and Val fairly well. I mean, I would say so, and it's just kind of, I remember going out there and being like, oh, these guys kind of they got a whole band, and that's really cool. And there's not a lot of that around. And so it was neat to see them doing that. And I guess it's neat to be kind of back there where they had started doing that. And to kind of,
it was really cool. It was really cool to have that.
Thread. Yeah.
Especially for me too, because I mean, at least two of the members, Rocco and Val Lipetsky, are kind of some of the inspiration of why I got into doing praise and worship in the first place.
So there you go. Right.
So it's having them do the music at my confirmation retreat. I never really was exposed. I mean, we had done some kind of praise and worship songs before. You get kindergarten and music class, you'll be saying "Here I am" to worship and whatnot. So I mean,
Right.
you have limited exposure, but really well done praise and worship music.
Oh, you froze there for a second.
I
There you
was
go.
those two introduced me to at the con.
Yeah. Cool. Uh, you're kind of. Are you there? I can't hear you. You're frozen. Um, what's my? There you are.
There we go. I don't know what happened there.
I don't know. Sorry. Um, so anyway, yeah, it's pretty cool. Because that shows also the reality of like what can happen if you have something like that at your parish. You're going to inspire future people to go out and be a path to encountering Christ in the Eucharist and things like that. So that's pretty cool. So we're picking up the thread, as it were.
That's absolutely, yeah.
Cool. So where is St. Mark's exactly? Or like, because some people, I might throw this out at the newsletter-ish kind of thing. I got to send an email out to let people know that the thing's coming up on the 19th, right?
We're
Or
looking
what's our
to do December 14th, which is a
no,
Thursday.
but I mean, we in like 2 weeks we got a
Oh,
thing at
our
Mark.
praise jam. Yes, that's
Yeah,
correct. Our next praise jam at St. Mark's is from 7 to 9 p.m. In the Cassie Activity Center at St. Mark's on October 19th. That's right.
that's okay. Yeah,
And St. Mark's is over on Vale Road, which is right off of Hunter Mill, and very very close to 123 between Vienna and Oakton. So it's kind of nice, tucked in the woods, tucked in a neighborhood there.
yeah,
But it's a they've been very gracious, like I said earlier, in allowing us the space. It
yeah.
sometimes was difficult in the past getting a kind of a consistent location where we could keep coming back every month and hosting these events. So we're lucky to be there.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool how that's worked out with because we're kind of making this up as we go along in a way, right? But we wanted to get together with other musicians in the diocese to do praise and worship for those that do that, and then we are also like, well, we want to like foster. We want things to happen because of this. So we want like more adoration nights. We want more prayer groups. We want whatever people want to get into. But those would be two of them, and maybe more contemporary Christian music at masses for those that want that. And
And to connect the musicians that play it too. Like
right,
I would never have met you were it not for the praise jams that we did. Running into Ed Becker after a mass I did over at George Mason, and he came up and we started talking about praise and worship music, and now here we are. I wouldn't have met you if that hadn't happened.
yeah.
So it's
No, I mean, when you think back at it, and I got to go out to Nativity on Saturday and see Ed and the Mass Uprising. I guess he's calling his. I don't know if he calls it his band. I mean, I don't know if it's like. I guess so. He's got like a logo and stuff, so that must be the name. Has that been around for a bit? I didn't quite catch the history.
I know Ed's had a couple groups in the past. I'm not sure about his current group, but
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, they were pretty tight. I mean, Ed's got some skills on the guitar, like lead
yeah,
guitar.
going from the praise music and to into Bob Marley. I mean, you've
Yeah,
got a wide range of musical
right.
talents there.
I just didn't know he could like do the rip. He can just I'm not he's not doing metal shred or anything like that, but he's like he can play lead guitar. I didn't know that because you don't really do that so often in praise and worship. But
Right.
it was neat. They did well. Um, but anyway, yeah, I was also thinking that it's been just about a year now since we started playing these jam nights or whatever, praise jam
Hmm.
nights. And so, I mean, if you look at it, we've got a group that's coming together regularly. And, um, you know, if we just keep, I mean, every time something, I mean, there was another guy, slowly we just keep on adding people. And that'll just broaden the network out. Um, I'm going to go see, for instance, Carla. I can't remember. I don't know if I have her last name, But she's doing something out at St. Joe's in Herndon um, on the 15th, Sunday. I think it's the 15th.
Mhm.
So they're doing an adoration night for an hour and a half out there. So I'm going to go out there, try to catch that, and she's going to try to come to our thing a couple days later, or she was interested in it again. Um, but I
That's
might,
great.
yeah, I thought she was local. Wasn't I don't know if you remember at all, but she was with us at St. James, and I thought she was local to St. James.
Was she what instrument did she play again?
She just sang that night, but she plays guitar and
Okay.
sings. And I thought she was leading like something over in the Falls Church area, but it might be St. Joseph's and Herndon and at South and Reston area. So
Hmm.
anyway, well, I'll find out. It doesn't matter. But anyway, it's just neat to see. And there was another guy, Mike Jablonski, knew that we ran into after St. James Mass last week, and he was interested. They're supposed to be pretty good. So they're out there. We just got to slowly run the flag up, you know, rally the troops a bit, and then hopefully just find places to do neat stuff, you know. Um,
Right, and I mean it's possible to introduce stuff like this even outside of those adoration nights. I mean, as a build up goal, it's always I think adoration is one of the best places for to utilize praise and worship music. But even in the mass setting, I'll have times at St. Mark's where as a instrumental prelude or an instrumental post communion meditation where we can introduce some music that the congregation's probably never heard before,
okay.
and it's 9 times out of 10 someone will come up after mass and if they're asking about, oh, what song is this? I've never heard it before. It's one of those and of this praise and worship genre. So I mean, it definitely has, even outside of the adoration setting where you're not even hearing the words, like the music it can have a great effect on people. And
Right, right. The music itself can just be beautiful and melodic and soothing, and all these vibrant or whatever. I mean, I remember I'm sort of on sabbatical. I told uh, some friends from the church mass thing because I was playing for like 5 or 7 years or whatever, and then while we were playing, there was reorganization, and so they stopped that mass. But I was out at St. James the other night, and I was just sitting in the pews listening to it. I'm like, it was good, and people enjoyed it. You could just tell people were singing. Oh my gosh, Catholics were singing. Um,
yeah.
it was 10,000 reasons, but there was a couple things that they were singing, and it was just like, wow, it's just like nice to hear that comfortable music. It's not out of hand or anything. It's just good Christian praise. Anyway,
I
so
mean, it is proof that people can pick this stuff up over time. Now, I mean, 10,000 Reasons is has been out for a long time, and
right,
people have heard it a bunch and can sing it. And
yeah,
so I guess it's a good counter argument to those who might say, oh, this congregation can't follow this as well. Like, we
yeah, yeah.
maybe we shouldn't do this. Well, no, they very much can. You have to actually do it.
Yeah. And that's a whole other. I mean, that would be a great kind of like another episode to do just on like how many times. What's the plan for like consistency? Like, how do you weave? We had a discussion about this. I think at our last gathering, um, about like how often do you do a song? How many new songs are you introducing and stuff like that into either adoration or mass or whatever, just to get people to a chance to know it, because there's so many cool songs out there that you could do a new song every week. You could do every song as a new song every week, and we
Hmm.
might know them and be like, "Oh, that's old," but nobody else has heard them because they don't follow that music per se, or some do, I guess. Um, but yeah, there has to be some sort of plan to get them known, but also to like introduce new stuff as well. Maybe.
And that's adoration night is definitely a great way to introduce new material, because I mean at mass the whole congregation is you know ideally is singing along to the music that we're doing, but in adoration it's kind of a different element where the music, yes, it's great when people sing along, but we're there to complement people's experience there in adoration. And so it's, we're there to be, kind of a, I don't want to say a soothing background noise, but you kind of get it's a different sort of expectation than in the mass. So to kind of just hear the music while you're, present in adoration, then to have the ability to, oh, okay, I can sing along with this now at mass.
Yeah.
It's a great, way to introduce it.
Yeah, I remember there was a priest that was visiting from, I think from Christ the King or something like that area in Michigan, and out where kind of Encounter is, and we got talking, and he was like, I guess it was a good night. He's like, oh, it was a good night, you know. His point was that, like, a lot of times, even if people aren't singing, if the group is into what they're doing and it's authentic, like your will can like assent to what is being sung. And he's like, it's like you're riding the coattails of the worship team into the to the halls of heaven or whatever with the praise or something like that. And I think that's true. Like it's not quite background music, but it might not be everybody singing it, but there's
Right.
still
It's a different, like, that's, it's a different element than in the mass, I suppose.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's I have a sort of a current. Well, that's the exact term. Is current. Is this idea of like a lot of times like things are going on in the Trinity and in heaven, and it's just like this stream, this current of love that is already happening, this current of praise that is already happening, and while people are there um, attending an adoration night with this music, like they can just be like riding along with that, but also adding their own internal prayers and conversation to it. But it's like we're riding into the stream, and they're kind of riding into our stream and the other kind of stream of grace and love and stuff that's also happening. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Um, let's see. I have all these questions here, but we're not going to hardly do any of them.
You can do as many as you want.
All right. Um, let's see. Some of these we've done. So, what would you say is the main difference between contemporary Christian praise and worship and traditional hymnal kind of music for those that don't really know much about what we do or whatever?
Certainly, comes from a different, I guess, musical tradition. Now, I think you can. I'm of the, the camp that I think it's the ideal scenario is a sort of a hybrid of the two. I don't think one is mutually exclusive over the other. There's definitely a time and a place for, big beautiful hymns on with the full on organ music with the choir, and there's settings where, a praise and worship song can fit in, and complement each other in a terrific way. I'll, give a shout out over to the George Mason Catholic Campus Ministry I'm very involved with. I've just graduated undergrad at George Mason. I'm still a grad student there, and I'm still very much involved with the music there. And what they're doing with the music program under the direction of Kenny Kohlhaas is, like in my opinion, a great prime example of combining, that old mixture of, you know, the mixture of old, traditional hymns, use of, chant in some aspects, and then the infusion of the modern praise and worship music. I really think that, you know, there's some folks that want to get rid of one, get rid of the other, and just, stick to one bucket of, you know,
Yeah.
and I think that the best way to do it is a complement of each other, because they really work so well together, and they can have it can have a great impact. I mean, I'm seeing that how active and vibrant the Catholic community is at Mason. Folks coming out adoration nights, are the pews are full.
Yeah.
When Sunday mass, student mass, the pews are full, and it's this blend of introducing this praise and worship music while also you know including these traditional hymns. I think there's no reason why you can't have a blend of both. And I really admire what Kenny and folks have been able to build there.
Yeah, I mean that's how long has he been doing that there?
I think about 8 years, maybe I have that wrong. I know it's definitely he's been there for a while now, and they've they used to, I think, solely, from what my understanding is, solely do praise and worship music and maybe some stuff out of the post Vatican II 1970s folk music era, some kind of combination of both of those styles of music. And just the way that they have been able to evolve it into, we're playing songs sometimes that were just released this year in terms of in the praise and worship category, and the musicians are there are incredible. But doing music that was just introduced this year in that praise and worship genre, and then going and doing a chant motet followed right behind a praise and worship song. It's just
Yeah,
it's incredible.
yeah, and if it's done well, that's the. I mean, almost anything that's done well will draw people.
Hmm.
Anything. Sometimes just like whoa, any given mass, or some masses perhaps more particularly. It's like the music team might just not have it together,
Right.
and that's a shame because you have this opportunity um, to, and, and that's a really good point. Is like, in what way do you think like this kind of music can serve like the Catholic community, even becoming more of a community? Because I think sometimes we as the church haven't like given a lot of focus, or it just seems like sometimes the fellowship kind of part of the parish isn't as strong as some of the operations like education and the mass and all these great things that you got to do. But sometimes I feel like the community aspect is not as vibrant as it could be, and so
Hmm.
um, I don't know. Maybe that's not that way over at St. Mark's, and I'm not asking you to disparage at all or anything. I'm just
I mean, I think that's part of what our goal is with the Catho-Lit as a whole, is building community around praise and worship music, because it's
yeah,
music that's it once you kind of get into it, it's not super hard to follow. It's not hard to sing along with. It's music that the next younger generation might appreciate just because of the style of the music itself, and
yeah,
it's a great way, with the praise jams that we're trying to build, and then the adoration night, to build a sense of community,
right,
within the church, and to you know reignite something that people aren't just going into mass, and like, it's the music that's being done. I'm not saying all the existing music done everywhere is not great, but it gives it adds a spark that'll might reinvigorate some people with their faith.
yeah. I think that uh, seems to me like this type of music. I mean, any kind of music, I guess, could to some degree do it, but it has people want to get together around this music and do praise of God. Um, and it's the kind of thing that's approachable. It's not super hard to learn. Um, you don't have to like learn harmonies and all that. I mean, that's nice.
Sure.
But like you can just have people over and have a fire pit or and just do some praise and worship and
And a
you know
guitar and four chords, and I mean, you can
yeah,
you can do it.
put out your phone, find the lyrics, and go. And you can bend into those in between song parts, which I love, where you're just strumming along to the chord progression. Maybe you're playing verse chorus, or we're just a part of the chorus that's simple, and you can cycle that, and people can bend into a little bit of spontaneity or just repeat parts. But there's like a pursuit of God's presence in that, which is very, very, I mean, wonderful. I mean, it's kind of why you're doing it, and
Mm.
that and the fellowship aspect of it, to be praising with people together in this pursuit of God's. encounter. It's just that's the deal. And
And the spontaneity, like you said, makes it even more authentic. Because I mean, sure, it's definitely meaningful to be singing the words of the song, right, and playing the song as it was written to be as a instrument of praise. But like you're saying, it's even more of an authentic experience when you're just center around a bridge or whatever, what
yeah,
have you,
exactly.
and
And
use
I
that
don't.
to mesh into another song or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. You can just bend in. Um, the chorus from another thing. You just slide right into it, and so it's. I love that freeformness, and I'll talk to you afterwards. I have something I'm working on. I can. I'll try to throw something over to you soon, and if you want to put a little piano riff on it or whatever, it's a neat concept. But
Okay.
I don't want to get into it right now.
Sure.
We'll lose everybody who's ever watching. Um, so again, so we're thinking this is going to be in December.
Yep.
Uh,
I don't want to set a hard date yet because we're still working that out with
right.
the calendar over at St. Mark's. It's tricky with having feast days and holy days in December, and you don't want to be too close to Christmas, and you don't want to be too close to Thanksgiving. But
Yeah.
we're working on a end of the week. Thursday night is probably our target. Right
Right.
now we're talking about December 14th, but any information about that would be in the Catho-Lit email blast once we settle on one.
Right.
And I'm sure you can find that on the website as well.
Yeah. There's a scrolling thing down there at the bottom. You can't see it because you have the simple view still, I guess.
I it,
You don't get it, right? Um, this is really odd, but anyway, uh, there is catho-lit.com. Um, is it's at the bottom of the screen scrolling across. But you can, if you're a musician, or even if you're not, you can sign up either way. But there's kind of two big buckets there of are you a musician or not. You can sign up, and we'll get you on the email list. And even if you're not a musician, it's basically a way for musicians to connect to each other, but also people who are looking for musicians to do praise and worship at some Catholic events. So it works for everybody as far as looking for that. And but we'll it'll likely be December, like I said, but we're not quite sure like how often. It's a trial, right?
mhm.
We might be
Yeah, I
doing
mean the goal would be to set it up, more often. I think we're definitely going to keep up the praise jams monthly.
right.
Um, but I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'd like to get it to a point where we could do a once a month adoration, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of like um, I would say it's not quite a reality. Is we'd love to see tons of these out there, but this is our first one because this is where we are. So, um, but ideally, we would like start it, and there would be musicians from the St. Mark's community that would be able to do it, and after a couple times, and they would just take it over, and then maybe we go to another parish and do a couple months or whatever of praise jams.
I I know St. Thomas of Becket is. I've heard anyways that they might be interested. They might be setting up some adorations coming soon, so maybe that could be
Cool,
another place.
nice. Yeah, there's another one. There's a well, not a young adult group, a post young adult group, or I guess that would be an adult group. It's, uh, started up at St. Timothy's in
Okay,
Chantilly.
Chantilly, yeah.
Okay, and they're so we're in discussion about maybe doing something there, but they just got going, so this is like totally hands off. But we just were like,
Okay.
hey, well, we maybe, so we'll
Keep
see.
me posted. That'd be
Yeah,
great.
yeah, definitely. And I'm interested in the St. Joe, see how that's going. Um, the website I got a guy web developer guy working on it, so he's retooling all the kind of events. So we'll be able to add in all these different adoration nights and stuff like that.
And George Mason's, like I said, they have a monthly adoration night,
Cool.
so we can get those up there too.
Yeah. And that's part of the idea is also for the website is just like so you can find these things And so there'd be like masses that have praise and worship. You could find them if you wanted to go to them. Uh, Also, the adoration nights and other kind of like prayer group nights or just festivals or you know, I would love to see some of that. Like,
Hmm.
we'll see. I don't even want to go down that road, but we can talk later.
Yeah.
Can't promise things, but we'll see. But any last thoughts?
No, it's. I mean, we're hopefully get some folks out there and have the same kind of impact with the adoration nights that got me really interested in doing this music. So hopefully we can have that effect on you, and hopefully give it a chance, open up to the new idea of praise and worship adoration nights. We'd love to see a lot of people there.
Yeah, cool. And so our next thing is the 19th, Thursday.
October 19th, Thursday. Yep, St. Mark's in the Cassidy Activity Center.
Then we don't know about November. November might be like a practice session for the adoration.
Yeah, well,
We'll
yeah.
see. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Yeah. Maybe we'll do a praise jam, but it's like a live rehearsal for songs that we would be doing at adoration.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah. And again, if anyone's interested, just go to Catho-Lit.com, and there's a way to contact me and get on the list and stuff like that. So very cool. All right, Mike. Thanks. Stay on the line for a second, and
Yeah. Thank
I'll
you, Bob.
that other thing. Thanks everybody for watching, and talk to you later. Bye. I'll just there you go.